Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Monday, September 23rd, 2024. And before we do Johnny the Homicidal Maniac number 7, we're going to do the Yggdrasil deck. This is the box. Nice heavy, oh, did I just show that to you guys upside down again? I've done that in the past and I've had to cut it out. But it's a nice heavy duty box, if you haven't seen this before. Today's card is DAG, Novelty. Creative Novelty. And I love how this guy is decked out. The sword, the armor, the cape, everything. He's got the gear. Creativity and novelty. This is engraved swords, engraved weapons, engraved helmets. This is art. And that's what makes life worth living. Artists are the only people who really make anything worth buying. You guys know that deep down. And today, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac number 7. This is a good one. This is going to give me an entry to talk about a lot of things when it comes to personal development and what Alpha Channel is, what I want to do with my work, what Jhonen did, the choices, the creative choices he made with this series. He was really young writing this. He was in his 20s. He didn't know where it was going. He just naturally let it go anywhere it went. And he did a magnificent job. This is Devi here on the back. This is very much Quentin Tarantino, Natural Born Killers. And it's more than that. I don't know if you guys read Brian Wood's Channel Zero, Jenny Zero. I suppose we'll get to that. When I got it, it was a trade paperback. I didn't get it as floppies, and we've only been doing floppies on this channel because let's be fair, a trade paperback would take, days. We can do that, but I just haven't broke that wall yet. Kind of like floppy comics. And Johnny, right here, has a visitor. Someone has arrived at his home, and it's a fan. Johnny doesn't even like himself. How's he going to react to a fan? So this is the problem that you come up with when you write something dark like this, where you are pushing your own personal boundaries, and suddenly you get fans like me who show up and have tried to emulate everything you've done when you are disgusted by what you've drawn and what you've written. And the fact that people like it scares you. That's kind of why I didn't go this route with Desdemona. I wrote Ashley Fox instead. Ashley Fox is a much more redeeming character. She took a lot more work than Desi. And I didn't name Desi after Devi here. I don't think I'd even remembered this. I named her Desdemona because it's a fucking awesome name. That's sort of a name she uses for herself. Her real name is Dolores Loretta Montclair. And so Johnny goes down to the basement. He asks this guy to leave. This is the guy who murdered the girl, by the way. Johnny doesn't kill girls. Johnny kills bullies. It's an entirely different thing. It's sort of like Dexter. Dexter doesn't hurt women. Dexter hurts bullies. It's an entirely different concept. The serial killers that Ashley has to fight off, they work as a group, and the main one in there collects, he does the same thing. He goes for people who he murders serial killers. He collects serial killers. Different than the way Dexter did it. He did it, this guy does it out of admiration. Dexter did it out of spite and resentment. My guy's a real villain. Dexter's not a villain. Dexter's a hero. Ashley's a hero. Johnny's not a hero. Johnny says to this guy, "I'm the villain, you idiot. Don't you get it?" Look, my personality, the way I define myself and live my life, I see myself as Lucifer, desperately trying to get back into heaven. We're all original sinners, and I'm worse than any of the rest of you. I just haven't murdered any of you yet. I hate you. I absolutely fucking hate you. I hate your weakness. I hate your lack of struggle. So many of you fuckers quit and give up when you could be fucking awesome, and you're not. So many of you are not living up to your potential. Johnny understands that. This guy murdering girls, is not living up to his potential. He's a fucking piece of shit. And Johnny opens him up. Then we get a wobbly-headed Bob and Debbie. Is this Debbie or Anguish? Oh, this is Johnny. Johnny calls Debbie and plays a recorded message. And it's this long rambling message about how he's sorry about what he did. It's just who he is, and that he really did like her, and blah, blah, blah. And she gets on the phone and tells him he's a piece of shit, and that she's been like uncontrollably vomiting. And is that what she said, or is that something Johnny said? Doesn't matter. She tells him she can't leave her place because of him, and he's a fucking asshole. And that's, you know what? That's fair. See, what I want is how do I describe this? The capability of a serial killer, but then you hold that power in check. That's what you need to be. You need to be Achilles, but not be out murdering people. Carry a very big stick and then don't need to use it. That's why they hated Jesus, you know. Because if he could heal people, he could hurt people. And that scared them. Because those Pharisees, the Jews of his day, they deserved hurting the same way they do it today. Today, the cover of Drudge Report is Israel 5-front war. I predicted some douchebag was talking shit to me a couple weeks ago. Some bully was talking shit to me a couple weeks ago on Twitter. And I told him that Tel Aviv would be rubble in a year. I stand by that. And this was around mid-July, beginning of August, I want to say. I predict Israel will be in rubble. The same, they've murdered all these people to steal their land. Same thing that they did in Ukraine. These people are pieces of shit, and they can't be allowed to stand. So, what comes around goes around. Let me explain. Johnny here is back home. At this one, the end of the phone call with Debbie, he says that didn't go as planned. Never does. The worst, you have to factor in the worst case scenario for everything in your life. And then when that doesn't happen, you're good. This new movie by David Finch, The Killer, I read that comic. Although I read it digital, I didn't read floppies. I don't know if we'll review it here. The series was better than the movie. David Finch is gay and did Fight Club, and the writer of Fight Club was a faggot too. And the writer of not Natural Born Killers, well, Quentin, you could argue, is a fucking douchebag. But Bret Easton Ellis, who wrote American Psycho, is also, you know, some of the... I'm glad Jhonen's not. God, that would be fucking terrible. This is pure. So here Johnny is questioning. He's got a new Burger Boy Bob is his new figment. He calls them figments. Nail Bunny doesn't talk to him anymore. The Doughboys don't talk to him anymore. He killed all of them. But Burger Bob is his latest figment, and Burger Bob is hungry, and Burger Bob wants blood, and Johnny's kind of ignoring him. Here we got another Anguish. Anguish. I noticed it when I read it, but I forgot to tell you guys. 2 issues ago, she had a bit where she and a friend were out, and here they are dressed up like goth girls again, and she, what happens here? This isn't Anguish. This is some goth guy who comes home, and he wants to be a vampire, and this vampire chick, Morticia, shows up and makes him a vampire. And he becomes this fat-headed Nosferatu with these walrus tusks. And he has to go to school like this. And he kills a guy. And then she tells him that over time he'll become beautiful. But 5,000 years later, he's just a worse version of Nosferatu. This is genius. This is why Jhonen Zasquez. Look, I'm not this funny. I was never this funny. I never believed I could have made Desdemona this funny. And I didn't want to rip him off. I needed to be myself. And myself is Ashley Fox. So that was the easiest thing for me to write. It was the best thing for me to write. Johnny gets a bow and arrow and makes a sign that says, kick me. You don't realize it until he shoots this guy in the back with a sign that says, kick me. And he's just some bum guy out, like, will work for food or whatever is his fucking sign. And Johnny shoots him with an arrow. And then we get a Squee bit where Johnny comes into Squee's place through the basement, tells him he's going away, he's not moving, he's just going on vacation, he needs a holiday, and that he can't leave through and then Squee's dad comes in and says, who are you talking to? And Johnny knocks him the fuck out with a fucking truck. He says he'll probably be blind because he hit him in the back of the head, and but don't worry, he'll be back in a couple weeks. Fucking Johnny. And he's not going to kill his dad because it would suck to not have a dad at all. And so then Squee goes to sleep and has this nightmare and wakes up. I don't dream. I mostly have nightmares. I never have dreams. I only have nightmares. I rarely get rest. It sucks. And that's what makes me a homicidal maniac. And here we go. Here's Johnny parked out on the overlook. And that's it. Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, number 7, the last issue. He does appear in Squee and I Feel Sick. I think there's 3 issues of Squee and 2 of I Feel Sick, so we'll get those and show those off. I don't know how that would work with a movie. Maybe just half-hour television episodes. Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, TV show. And you have 13 episodes. It's not bad. It's not bad. So yeah, today is brought to you by Legacy of a Mad Scientist and Legend of Ashley Fox. Legacy of a Mad Scientist, where Ashley and her brother Jeff go on the run from corrupt government agents, and Legend of Ashley Fox, where they fight off serial killers. And we have a comic book for you too, Ashley Fox Last Valkyrie. And I don't need to talk about current events. You guys know what's going on. Creativity and novelty will save you from chaos and despair. See you tomorrow.